Have you ever looked in the mirror after a fresh haircut and thought, why do I look older instead of younger? It happens more often than you might think. For many women over 55, the bob haircut feels like a safe, timeless choice, low maintenance, polished, and easy to style. But here's the surprising truth. Some bob styles can actually add years to your face, making your features look harsher and emphasizing lines you'd rather soften. The good news? You don't have to give up on the bob altogether. With just a few small adjustments, whether it's the cut, the layers, or even the color, you can transform your hairstyle into something that feels fresh, flattering, and wonderfully youthful. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 bob haircuts that age you instantly, and more importantly, I'll show you the modern alternatives that bring back softness, vibrancy, and confidence at any age. If you've been searching for anti-aging hairstyles, youthful haircuts for women over 50, or the best bob styles for older women, you've come to the right place. This isn't just about hair, it's about finding a style that matches the life you're living now, full of wisdom, grace, and beauty. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and stay with me until the very end, because the solutions might just surprise you. And speaking of surprises, let's start with the first bob style that might secretly be adding years without you realizing it. The blunt bob has always been celebrated as chic, modern, and sophisticated. With its sharp, straight-across ends, it seems like the perfect haircut for making a bold statement. But here's the catch. While it might look striking on younger women, for many women over 55, this hairstyle can actually have the opposite effect. Instead of refreshing your look, a blunt bob often emphasizes the very features you'd rather soften. Why is that? A blunt cut draws a harsh horizontal line across your face. This strong, straight edge highlights sagging around the jawline or neck, making the face appear heavier and more square. It also lacks movement, which means it doesn't offer that soft, youthful bounce we associate with healthy, vibrant hair. For women seeking anti-aging hairstyles or youthful haircuts for women over 50, the blunt bob simply works against the goal. Now let's be clear, there's nothing wrong with loving structure in your haircut. But the blunt bob tends to freeze the face, exaggerating fine lines and making the skin look less radiant. The more polished and rigid the cut, the more it can make your features appear rigid as well. So what's the alternative? Instead of the blunt bob, consider adding texture and layers. A soft, layered bob is one of the best bob haircuts for older women because it introduces movement and lightness. The layers frame your face more gently, creating lift around the cheekbones and drawing attention upward. Even subtle layers at the ends can transform the look from severe to softly elegant. And if you want an extra youthful boost, try adding a slight wave or curl. This adds dimension and keeps your style looking modern. Another tip is to play with length. A blunt bob that stops right at the jawline can drag the face down, but a slightly longer bob, a lob or long bob, elongates your features, giving the illusion of a slimmer, more graceful neckline. Pair that with a side part or a sweeping fringe, and suddenly your haircut feels lighter, fresher, and far more flattering. The truth is, hair should move with you, not against you. It should highlight your smile, your eyes, and the confidence that comes with your life experience. By swapping out a blunt bob for a layered or softly textured version, you're not just updating your haircut, you're updating your entire presence. And if you thought blunt lines were the only culprit, wait until you see the next bob style. It might seem elegant at first glance, but the way it hugs the face can actually draw more attention to the very areas you'd prefer to downplay. At first glance, the chin-length bob seems like a flattering choice. It frames the face, it's easy to manage, and it gives off that neat, polished look so many women appreciate. But here's the problem. When the bob ends exactly at the chin, it often draws attention to the areas most of us would rather soften, like the jawline, the corners of the mouth, and the delicate skin around the neck. For women over 55, the chin-length bob can feel restrictive. Instead of opening up the face, it closes it off. The sharp stop at the chin creates a visual frame that emphasizes any sagging or fine lines in that area. It can also make the lower half of the face look heavier, which takes away from your natural elegance. This is one reason why many stylists advise against the chin-length bob when clients ask for flattering hairstyles over 60 or youthful bob cuts for older women. So what should you try instead? The secret is to give the haircut a little breathing room. A bob that falls slightly below the chin, hitting just above the collarbone, elongates the face and neck. This added length creates the illusion of lift, helping your features appear softer and more balanced. Another trick is to add gentle layers or side-swept bangs. Instead of the hair clinging tightly to the jawline, layers introduce movement, breaking up the harsh outline and directing the eye upward. Side-swept bangs, or a deep side part, can also help by drawing attention toward the eyes, which is always more youthful and engaging. Color can also make a difference here. A chin-length bob in a solid dark color can look especially severe, but adding subtle highlights or lighter tones near the face softens the overall effect. Think warm caramel, soft honey, or even silver blending, colors that reflect light and add dimension. Not only does this brighten your hair, but it also brightens your entire complexion. Ultimately, the chin-length bob isn't inherently bad, but it's limiting. Hair should move freely and enhance your best features, not box them in. By choosing a slightly longer cut with layers, you gain the freedom of styling, the grace of movement, and a look that feels far more natural and age-defying. And while length can be a tricky detail, let's not forget about the role your bangs play. Because as we'll see next, the wrong choice in fringe can make a bigger difference than you think. For many women, bangs feel like a quick fix. They promise to cover forehead lines, disguise thinning hair, and create an instant youthful effect. And while there's some truth to that, not all bangs are created equal. A heavy, blunt fringe that falls straight across the forehead may seem like a smart choice, but in reality, it often does more harm than good. Why? Thick, heavy bangs can overwhelm your features, especially as skin begins to lose its natural elasticity. Instead of softening the face, they cast shadows that make fine lines, wrinkles, and under-eye circles more noticeable. They also close off the face, taking away that open, radiant quality that makes you appear approachable and vibrant. The problem with a full fringe is that it creates a very flat look. There's little movement, no lightness, and no room for your personality to shine through. For women searching for bangs for women over 50 or anti-aging hairstyles, this style can feel like wearing a heavy curtain. It hides, but it doesn't flatter. So what's the better option? Consider softer, lighter bangs. Wispy layers or side-swept bangs are far more forgiving, allowing light to frame your face instead of blocking it out. Side-swept bangs, in particular, add elegance by drawing attention toward your eyes and cheekbones, while curtain bangs can create a gentle frame without overwhelming your features. These styles balance coverage with openness, giving you the best of both worlds. Another tip: thinning out heavy bangs or cutting them at an angle instantly modernizes the look. It makes the hair flow naturally with the rest of your bob instead of sitting on top like a helmet. And if you've embraced your natural grays or highlights, lighter bangs allow that beautiful texture and color to shine through. Remember, bangs should enhance, not conceal. They should move with your hair, highlight your eyes, and give you confidence without weighing you down. With the right style, bangs can absolutely be age-defying, but heavy, blunt fringes often backfire, adding years instead of taking them away. And if bangs can make such a dramatic difference, imagine the role color plays. Because the shade of your bob might be the very thing that's secretly aging you most of all. For decades, dark, solid hair has been seen as elegant, dramatic, and timeless. A jet black or deep brown bob might sound like the perfect choice if you're aiming for sophistication. But here's the reality. When you're over 55, a flat, single-tone bob, especially in a very dark shade, can actually add years instead of subtracting them. Why does this happen? Dark colors absorb light, which makes your hair appear heavier and denser. While that might sound appealing, the side effect is that it highlights every fine line, wrinkle, and shadow on your face. Instead of lifting and brightening your features, it often creates a stark contrast that makes skin look duller and older. Another challenge with a solid dark bob is that it lacks dimension. Hair without highlights or variations looks flat, and flat hair rarely conveys youthfulness. Think of how light naturally reflects off hair when you're younger. It has movement, shine, and depth. A one-color dark bob, on the other hand, hides that vibrancy. So what's the better option? The secret lies in adding softness through color. Subtle highlights, lowlights, or even a gentle balayage can completely transform your look. Warm shades like caramel, honey, or golden brown bring out warmth in the skin, while cooler tones like silver blending or soft ash can make grays look intentional and chic. These touches of light create movement and dimension, which are key to a youthful appearance. Another smart approach is the face framing highlight. Adding lighter strands around your face acts almost like natural contouring. It draws attention upward, brightens the eyes, and makes your complexion glow. This trick works beautifully with layered or wavy bobs, adding both style and softness. If you love darker hair, you don't have to give it up entirely. The key is balance. A dark base paired with lighter blended tones creates richness without the harshness. Not only will this make your bob more modern, but it also keeps your overall style in step with today's most flattering hair color for women over 50. Hair color is more than just a cosmetic choice. It's about how you feel when you see yourself in the mirror. The right shade can give you energy, brightness, and confidence that radiates in every part of your life. And if color has this much power, imagine what happens when styling takes it too far. Because as we'll see next, the way you finish your bob can either add life or lock it into a stiff, outdated look you'll want to avoid. There was a time when a perfectly set, voluminous bob was the height of glamour. Think of the polished hairstyles of the 1980s and 1990s. Big, rounded shapes, teased roots, and layers sprayed so firmly that not a strand dared to move. While it may have been fashionable back then, today, an over-styled bob often has the opposite effect. Instead of appearing chic, it can look dated, stiff, and far less flattering for women over 55. The problem lies in the lack of natural movement. Hair that's been teased, sprayed, or overly curled tends to sit on the head like a helmet. It resists flow, and as a result, it makes the overall style feel heavy and artificial. For women searching for modern bob hairstyles or natural hairstyles for older women, this approach only adds age because it suggests you're holding on to trends that no longer serve you. Another issue is that too much volume at the crown or too much spray on the ends can create a wig-like effect. Instead of enhancing your natural beauty, it overshadows it. The harsh, controlled finish can also make your features seem more severe rather than soft and radiant. So what's the alternative? The key is embracing ease and movement. A messy bob or a softly tousled bob offers that effortless charm we often associate with youth. Light waves, textured layers, and minimal product give the hair bounce and dimension without looking forced. This doesn't mean unkempt. It means intentionally styled to look natural, modern, and free. One of the most flattering options is the wavy shoulder-length bob. With loose curls or a beachy wave, the look feels relaxed yet elegant. It complements both casual and dressy outfits, making it versatile for any lifestyle. Paired with lighter color accents, this style can instantly refresh your entire appearance. Another tip is to use lightweight styling products instead of heavy sprays. A texturizing spray or a mousse can add just enough hold without weighing the hair down. This way, your bob has body and shape, but it still moves with you. Because movement, more than anything, is what communicates vitality and youthfulness. Ultimately, hair shouldn't look frozen in time. It should look like it belongs to you, right here and right now. When your bob flows naturally, it not only frames your face beautifully, but also tells the world that you're vibrant, modern, and confident in your style. And now that we've explored the 5 bob styles to avoid and the fresh alternatives that truly flatter, it's time to bring it all together in a final message that will leave you feeling inspired every time you look in the mirror. We've taken a close look at 5 bob haircuts that might seem stylish at first glance, but can actually add years instead of subtracting them. The blunt bob, the chin-length cut, the heavy full fringe, the one-color dark bob, and the overstyled stiff version, all of these have one thing in common. They emphasize the wrong details, often making your face appear harsher or older. But the good news is that every single one of these styles has a modern, youthful alternative that can bring softness, movement, and vibrancy back into your look. Remember, your hair is more than just a style. It's part of how you express who you are today. By choosing layered bobs instead of blunt edges, opting for longer lengths instead of chin-hugging cuts, light and airy bangs instead of heavy fringes, soft highlights instead of flat dark tones, and natural flow instead of overstyled volume, you can create a look that feels both timeless and fresh. These are not just anti-aging hairstyles, they are confidence-boosting choices that let your natural beauty shine. And here's the most important takeaway. Aging doesn't mean losing style. In fact, this chapter of life is often when women discover their strongest sense of self. Your hairstyle should celebrate that. It should frame your smile, light up your eyes, and reflect the joy and wisdom that only come with experience. The right haircut is less about chasing trends and more about finding what makes you feel alive and radiant. So, as you think about your next salon visit, remember the power of these small but meaningful changes. Ask your stylist about layered bobs, soft waves, curtain bangs, or highlights that brighten your complexion. Experiment until you find the combination that feels like you, because when your hair feels right, everything else seems to fall into place. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on youthful haircuts for women over 50, fashion inspiration for women over 55, and lifestyle ideas that keep you feeling confident and vibrant. And be sure to stay tuned for our next video, where we'll explore the most flattering hair colors for women over 55. Because sometimes the secret to looking younger isn't the cut at all, but the color that brings it to life. After all, you deserve a style that not only looks beautiful, but also makes you feel beautiful. Today, tomorrow, and every day, moving forward,